It's time to down tools for a bit. Welcome to the Toolshed, the influential podcast for anyone and everyone involved in the building industry. Here's your host, Mick Hawes.
Hey folks, welcome to the Toolshed podcast. As you're well aware, if you've watched this podcast or listened to the podcast previously, we're always looking for tools and ideas and philosophies and inspiration to help make a building business better. One of the things that we don't often do is actually talk to builders. We're always talking to people who are supporting the building industry through software platforms or services, what have you, but we very rarely speak to builders. But in this particular episode, we're going to be speaking to two of them, and there they are, Luke Davies, Kyle Zanetto. We're all in Tasmania. I forgot about that. We're all of us are in Tasmania. Luke's in Sheffield. I'm assuming Kyle's in Launceston, and I'm in Dodgers Ferry. So
Dirty
welcome
Dodger.
to the show, lads. How are you? You need to speak.
I'll
when I
talk
ask the
then
question.
somewhere, yeah. I was trying to be polite and not butt in on
Yeah, we're
Luke.
good.
Why
Good,
start
Mick.
now?
Thanks for having us on the Toolshed.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Luke, give us a bit of background as to how you got started with building to start with. What's your backstory?
Backstory is with Tassie born and bred, so I grew up on dairy farms, moved all around Tassie, and out of year 10 got an apprenticeship as a carpenter. Worked for my boss worked through my apprenticeship and finished my carpentry apprenticeship. Worked for another 3 years, then went out to sole trading and started finding my own work and doing my own jobs in about 2009. Started the company Davies Construction in 2012, and just been on the journey since then. So I'm based in Sheffield. We specialise in residential homes. We also have a design company that we do design and construction of passive houses and high-end custom homes.
Very cool. What about you, Kyle? There, sit up straight in your chair, lad. You've got poor posture there.
I'm relaxed. Hang on, what's going on in this camera? You know me.
I do. Tell us your backstory.
There we go. My backstory. So I'm a supermarket boy turned builder, basically. So come out of college and wasn't really sure what I was going to do. Was thinking about doing engineering and following in my father's footsteps in civil construction. And was working in the supermarket doing the old Sunday shift, hung over most weekends, and just decided I wanted to get out on the tools with all my mates, listen to music, get a tan, and work hard. So I think I was 17 when I got my building apprenticeship, and spent the next 4 years obviously working through my trade, doing good old cashies, bathrooms, decks, all the little bits and pieces that we do when we're learning to get that additional experience. And then by 2017. I was 2 years out of my trade, finished my Cert 4 in building, and Zanetto Builders was born. And the journey since then, much like Luke, we've obviously just niched into custom homes, passive house, and looking to highest quality homes we can across Tasmania with 3 branches now opened up and a really good team around me and pipeline of work coming up. So things are good. It's exciting.
Yeah. Now, people looking at both of your businesses, I think, would agree that you are successful builders. You build quality homes, you've got good teams, you've got a good flow of work, you've got customers that really appreciate and love what you do. They get a great experience. Another thing that you guys have done is you've created Future Builder. We're going to talk about that in a little while with another partner, Matt. But the first thing I want to get your opinions on is just the common mistakes that builders make. So if they're listening to this podcast, and if they're open-minded enough and go, I actually do that. So what would be one or two things from each of you that you think that quite a few builders do that cause them to have unnecessary pain and frustration in their business. So I know that there are market forces and there are things that happen that are out of our control that can cause us some challenges in our business. But I believe that a big chunk of the problems that builders have in their own businesses is of their own making. Can I get each of you to give us an example or two about what you think that might be, and what a solution might be? We'll start with you, Luke.
Yeah, so I think there are different, I suppose, stages that a builder will be. So, just starting out by himself, they're going to have a lot different problems than someone at about our stage where we have about 14, 15 employees versus, a company that's probably the next level, that has 30 or 40 or 50 or plus employees. So I think we all hit different problems along the way. Starting out, it's getting stuck in that trap of, you're the guy, changing, I suppose, spending time, to bill for that time to, I'll back up. So you're trading time for money, I suppose.
Yeah.
Trading time for money.
Wearing all the hats.
Wearing all the hats and not knowing, how to implement or how to get out of that trap of just going to work, working 8 or 10 hours and then doing all your admin and all that sort of stuff at home. So
what do you think the solution to that is? Like, it's a really common, it's a super common issue that, in Black Belt, we're teaching people how to automate and outsource and all that sort of stuff and give them what I think is some quality information. But often that information doesn't get implemented because they are very busy. They're wearing all of the hats. They're doing what you just said. What was a thought process or a situation, or how did you break out of that? Because there are plenty of builders who want to, but they just never seem to. What happened in your mind, or what decision did you make to be able to let go and start to allow the team to build and take responsibility and etc.?
Yeah, and again, I think at every level you hit a breaking point where you just get forced to make a change. So that's what would have happened to me at that early stage as well. I just, there's just no way that I could have kept going on like I was. So just implementing time management practices, just starting by putting a bit of time aside each week and letting the team know that, I wasn't going to be on the tools. And, just starting to implement small little processes and systems. I love the name of your podcast, the Toolshed, and something we talk about in Future Builder is that, the right asset or tool, can solve most of the issues, bottlenecks or frustrations within the business if it's implemented and the people in the business are trained well enough to be able to use that tool.
Yeah. Kyle, what's your thoughts as to one of the more common mistakes or errors that builders make that just really stunts their ability to grow and have a business that looks like, feels like, smells like the business that they wanted when they first started? Like, we wanted more time freedom, we wanted more financial freedom, we wanted to be able to choose our clients and our projects and all that sort of stuff. For most builders, that's not the reality. What do you think is one of the bigger issues there that causes people to not get what they wanted out of their building business?
I think, like Luke said, most of the time the business owner is the roadblock, and it's that mindset or that ego, I suppose, that most of us ambitious people that step into business ownership face, about thinking that we can do it alone and not invest in the education that's actually going to be the answer and the solution to all the problems we're trying to continually fight through. So, yeah, I know for me, that was the way. The first 4 or 5 years in business was a trial by fire, and it took me to hit breaking point where it was either get in or get out or seek help. And then I think once you understand that, once you're just really open to seeking help and getting the right people around you to obviously educate you on how you should be running a business and how you need to manage your personal health and your personal life. And once you understand that principle, that's when it'll really change the direction. And then it's the whole who, not how thing, like you've kind of taught me, Mick. It's be really good at something and then find other people that are really good at what they are doing to fill the holes in your business.
Yeah, absolutely. Surround yourself with talented people. Now, I really want to unpack this mindset of reaching out for help, particularly for Australian males. It seems to be very, very difficult. Both of you obviously have a passion for it because you've created Future Builder. Now, Luke, I only met you through Kyle. I met Kyle because he's in Builder's Business Black Belt as one of our members, and so obviously Kyle has an extraordinary passion for learning and improving and what have you. Because not only is he a part of Black Belt, he is also part of Future Builder, which is helping builders become better builders. So I'd be really interested in your thoughts as to why you think that is so important, and maybe if you can give us some sort of insight. If you know, you might not know. What prevents builders from jumping into a community or reaching out and asking for help? They all just seem to think that I should be able to figure it out myself, but that's not the case. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, potentially, I think builders love to have control over what they're doing. You know, the builder is pretty much the principal contractor of the whole scope of work that happens on the site. So they manage all the sub trades and they manage all their guys. And a lot of the time when you're first starting out as well, you want to do everything yourself and make sure it's right. So I think the same thing applies in business. They think that they need to do everything and that nobody can do it like they can do it. Which is, you know, I've definitely learnt that people can do things a lot better than what I can do them.
Yeah.
In certain areas. So, yeah, there's that, I think, to take into account. And then I think how me and Kyle met was Kyle just reached out to me on Instagram. You know, I'd post stuff on Instagram about how I build and what I do. And, you know, that tool wasn't around when I first started. Nobody was on Instagram and, you know, I didn't have any connection to anyone apart from maybe going to a master builders meeting once a month with a heap of, you know, guys that are about to retire from building. You know, you get a bit of knowledge off them, but there's no reaching out. I was doing a diploma at the time as well when I first started, and even at those diploma courses, I'd be trying to ask the other builders, you know, can I borrow your estimating template? You know, what are your cost codes? What's this? And no one would share anything. So yeah, Kyle reaching out to me on Instagram and other builders reaching out on Instagram now, and that tool of everybody posting all this stuff and sharing it, and that community of trying to, you know, just improve the industry and share knowledge, you know, was awesome. And that's how Future Builder started.
Yeah.
You know, a couple of messages from Kyle and then I put some time aside to respond, and you know, that sort of our friendship started from there as well.
Yeah, brilliant. What are your thoughts, Kyle? What prevents the standard garden variety builder from reaching out for help? What are your thoughts?
A lot of it's probably got to do with how we're brought up. I know that the first two bosses that I worked for, there was that huge scarcity mindset we always talk about, and everyone keeping their cards close to their chest when it comes to business and profit margins and how they build and detailing and all that. And I think in the last 5, 6, 7 years, as social media's become more prevalent, it's become readily available to people like Luke, who used to put up construction details for a young builder like me coming up, looking to start a business. It's like, okay, this guy's been doing it for 10 years longer than me. Why is he doing it? Obviously, to improve the way this company builds and protect the homes that they build as well, due to experience. So I can kind of piggyback off the learnings of senior people in the industry, and I guess probably decrease the learning curve with time and money lost through error. So yeah, I think it's just a big pool of information availability with people that are actually willing to work together, because they went through a generation that didn't help each other, so they can now see the difference.
Yeah,
I think that's probably it.
And there's still a little bit of that around, but it has changed considerably, and it always makes me laugh that, you know, one of the things that we do when people come into Black Belt is we do a financial audit with a profit first professional, and not one builder thus far has been profitable. They think they were profit and loss sheets, but not according to profit first. And it's like, why are you keeping your processes so close to your chest when it's not working? It's like it doesn't make sense. Why would you keep that a secret?
Probably embarrassed. That's why we're driving these nice cars, but everyone's broke.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation. Future Builder, Luke said this is how you guys sort of got together. Tell us about what the impetus for Future Builder was. Like, how did that conversation start, and why did a couple of builders decide that they wanted to put together like a massive library of resources to help other builders? Because it's kind of unusual. Who wants to answer that? Somebody start speaking.
I'll jump in then. I'll get some. I think that Luke and I, like from discussions we've had, have had similar kind of backstories where business got to a point where it started to fail because we didn't have the education and the learning. So we both had this kind of ingrained need to build something that could help other builders through the shit times that we found ourselves in. And the idea was probably 18 to 24 months ago now. I actually had a discussion with Matty Long from Tassie Visuals, who's the third founder of Future Builder. And at the same time, I think it was only 2 or 4 weeks earlier or something, Luke had actually been talking to Matt about a very similar idea. And then we kind of come together and said, why are we trying to do the same thing and push in a different direction against each other when we can probably use both brands that we've built with both of our companies and support each other for something that's going to, go together bigger, quicker and better as a team than it would if we went separately.
Yeah.
And that's how the idea was born, and here we are.
I'm Mick Hawes from Builder's Business Black Belt. There's one roadblock in your business that, when identified and fixed, a whole bunch of other frustrating problems will disappear at the same time. So much time, effort, and money is thrown at problems in an attempt to fix them that often doesn't fix the problem and just leads to more frustration. And if this cycle continues, it increases stress and just makes running your own business an unenjoyable pain in the ass. And it doesn't have to be that way. Being a business owner can give you more time and financial freedom, and it can be super rewarding if you do it right. The key is to find your unique roadblock, which you're often too close to the action to see yourself. How do I know this? I've been working in peak performance and business coaching for over 3 decades, and with builders specifically for over 10 years, and I see it every day. So I encourage you to take the Builder Success Scorecard right now. The link to take the scorecard is in the description. It's free. It'll take you about 90 seconds, and you'll have some quality feedback in your inbox before you know it. Tell us about Future Builder, how it works, what its intention is, like what you're trying to do. It's a bit of a, and some people have mentioned this to me because I'm one of your quote unquote experts in Future Builder. So I come in and do a session from time to time. And some people have said, what are you doing that for? Aren't they your competition? And like me personally, I don't see any competition. I've reached out to lots of other coaches and say, hey, why don't we do stuff together? Like, it just makes sense. We're all saying we're doing it for the same purpose of helping, people in the building industry. Why do we need to compete against each other? And most others aren't interested in it. So it may seem a little bit weird, but I don't think so. I think we're all just getting together to contribute to the betterment of the building industry, which helps everybody. Rising tide lifts all boats, and that's what we're trying to do. But I'm really interested in the driving purpose. Like, what is the purpose of Future Builder from your perspective? What are the specific things that you want to help builders with by jumping into Future Builder? Luke.
Yeah, so going back to why we started again, I'm interested in building businesses, and I wanted to build something a little bit different to the bricks and mortar construction business, and something that had a legacy and a bigger impact. I found a note, I think, that I wrote over I don't know, 12 years ago or something, when it's like, imagine if we had this, I could get the resources that a building company has and implement them straight into my business. So it's been something that's been, an idea for a long time, but until we met Kyle and Matt, that, we actually made some traction and made something happen. So Future Builder is an online membership with a asset library. So it's all the assets, all the tools and the resources and the checklists and the systems and the standard work procedures and everything out of my business and Kyle's business. We've combined those and put them onto this register, so you can download them, white label them, and use them directly straight in your business without having to reinvent the wheel again and create that whole process or that whole document. And then we have our Future Builder Society, which is the membership, which is on a web-based login, and there's an app as well. And it's just like a Facebook for our community. You go on and post and ask questions and share things. We have a Monday mastermind for an hour every Monday, where we just catch up and chat through whatever, Q&A, or we have an expert come on. And then we also have one-on-one catch-ups, where we're not coaches, but we're the one-on-one catch-ups are usually about the tools or the assets and how we use them in our business. So we don't coach anyone. We just try and implement tools. And it's just like on a construction site, you have a really sharp compound miter saw for fitting out miters on architraves, and if you try to do it with a blunt, handsaw or something, it's not going to work as well.
Like
so
I do it.
So trying to give these really sharp tools that you need to run your business and your system, so your people are well trained, they're engaged, they're safe, and they're using these really good sort of tools, standard operating procedures.
Yeah. And as I mentioned, I'm one of the experts, and I used inverted commas because I don't necessarily consider myself an expert, but, I'm mentioned as one, but there are other people in that group as well. Can Kyle, you tell us about the other, I suppose, experts or people with a lot of experience and knowledge that the people in Future Builder have access to? You do workshops sort of once a week with a different person leading that workshop. And I know that there's stuff about Passive House. I know there's stuff about finance, all sorts of things. Is Matt even involved in that? Is like helping people with videography? Because he's just one of the best I've seen. Some of his stuff is just brilliant, isn't it?
He's coming. We're trying to get him to let me film his course at the moment, so be a bit of paybacks coming, I think, if I'm on the camera. But he tells me he's going to shoot and edit his own course. But yeah, I think the idea kind of stemmed from when I joined Black Belt, Mick. Like I mentioned earlier, that you can't be an expert at everything, but you can be really good at something. So the idea behind Future Builder was let's build a platform that we can grow our community, and we can attract and bring in all of these key people of influence, I suppose, that you've introduced to me, such as yourself, James Buchanan, who I was introduced by Robbie from Evo Build, and then he was brought into Black Belt and then brought into Future Builder. So it's just that whole I suppose you find someone that can help your business, and then you pass them on to someone else, and then it grows. And we kind of come up with this idea. We're like, if we can bring an expert from every area within business, within healthy home construction, within mindset, within even down to how you eat, we can have this holistic approach and trying to centralize the data in one place. And then Matt's got the task of obviously making it short and engaging for people like me with a really short attention span to keep it in line.
Yeah.
Keep it viewable. So
like you even mentioned what you eat. Like there are so many different aspects of a successful building business. It's not just the building. And I know we talk about this a lot in Black Belt, that a lot of builders seem to think that the building that they're building is their product. I don't believe that. I think it's the quality of your client experience. But to give your client a good experience, you've got to look after yourself as well. So tell us about what else that you've got in Future Builder that people can sort of start to learn from. You mentioned the what you eat thing, so you've even got a nutritionist in there, which is your partner. Tell us
Only good
about
words to
that.
be spoken today.
Well, do you pay attention to it? That's the big question.
She actually prepares all my food all week. So it's only
That's
when I
not
go
the
away
question.
and eat out.
Do
that I
you pay
say,
attention to her is the question.
No, I actually do. And I actually did sit down and watch her course, and she was actually very surprised
Yeah.
because she thinks that all I do is watch videos about mindset and money and business. So I did pay attention. So I was in the good books.
Yeah. She is very good.
But yeah, it's like you said, if you're not putting the right fuel in your body and getting the right sleep, how can you expect to wake up and be a high performance business owner? That's the same as a race car. Like you said, Mick, I know you've got a lot of great analogies around. Yeah,
I thought it was
race
a
cars.
race
I can't
horse.
put my finger on it. Race
It was
horse.
a racehorse.
Knocks on the
It
road,
was a
all
Zig
that stuff.
Ziglar. It wasn't me. Zig Ziglar said, if you've got $1 million racehorse, do you keep it up all night smoking cigars and drinking whiskey? And the answer is no. So,
That's
you know,
it.
and he even says, would you do that to a $10 cat? And everyone says, well, no, you wouldn't treat an animal like that. But that's what we do to ourselves, and then expect us to perform at the highest level, not putting in the right fuel. So something to think about. Future Builder, how do people get involved? How do people find it? What are the steps to getting involved with Future Builder, Luke?
Yeah, well, Kyle's the man for that. So Kyle has one-on-one calls with most people. So the roles inside the business is I usually help find the experts and curate the content and curate the courses, that type of thing. Matt makes the content, and Kyle, chats with everyone to let them know what it's all about. So
Well, you can
on the
take
website,
over, Kyle, then. Let us know.
Yeah.
It's only you're the one that does it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
What can people
love
expect?
Just smiles and happy conversations and help, basically. So obviously, like, Instagram is probably our bigger market space at the moment. From what I've seen over the last few years, that's where most of the building business owners are trying to build their brand, and that's where we all talk and communicate. So a lot of the time now it's just through following someone on Instagram. They'll reach out and have a conversation, book in a one-on-one call. And then, usually throughout the week, I'll have a 1-hour session with a business owner, and we'll come in and I'll do a bit of a introduction, understand why they've approached the platform and what they're looking to solve by potentially joining. And then I'll obviously use the information they provide to give them a look through the platform and how the tools, resources, training and experts within can potentially solve the problems they've got within their business. And I'll just run through it all and then use my business as a bit of a case study to show them how we've kind of turned around the last few years as well, and the tools and systems and how we estimate all those kind of things. And kind of comes in like that. And then we do a bit of a catch up at the end to see if they're keen to join or if they're ready to go on a wait list. And it's a no pressure thing. So that's basically how it runs. And then we bring them in, and thanks to James from Automation King, who's been a massive help to us setting up all the onboarding and automation. They just, sign up online, and then they start an automated sequence to get access to log in, and they're on.
Yeah. The party starts. So it's just very, very encouraging to see how things are changing in the building industry, and a couple of guys like yourself and Matt as well. I mean, Matt's puts a whole, I don't know, he'll end up listening to this, but he's the one that makes it look classy.
Secret sauce. It's
Yeah.
put the salt and pepper on the steak.
Yeah. But it's just very encouraging to see how the building industry is shifting. And like you said, back in the day, everyone was secret squirrel, holding their cards close to their chest. And it's just so good seeing communities of builders getting together, sharing and helping each other. I know that when I first started Black Belt, we were doing a round table. It looked completely different to what it looks like now, but we just had a small group together. And one of the ladies there just was asking about a color selection process or whatever. And one of the other ladies around the table said, "Oh, I've got one. It took me 2 years to build it, but I'll give it to you and you can just change the branding on it, and you can use it. And I'm just sitting there, jaw dropped, because I just didn't expect that sort of thing to happen, and it just continues to happen. I know that in Black Belt we've seen plenty of times, and I know you've been involved, where people get on planes and they go and visit each other and help each other out, and become cheerleaders and supporters of other builders. And when we do that, you get a better building business. Everyone gets a better building business because it's all reciprocated, and the clients benefit as well. So it's a great thing that you're doing. We'll make sure that we put the links to have a look at Future Builder in the description, and people can go check it out, see where I'm an expert. It's the only place I'm an expert, by the way, folks, is in Future Builder. I'm not an expert anywhere else. What was that?
You've got me fooled, mate. I believe in you.
Thanks very much. Well, thanks, guys, for being on the Toolshed, on the podcast. Thanks for what you're doing. My mission is to improve lives and all of the lives that are part of the building industry, and I think that what you're doing is contributing to that. So anything we can do to promote it and get more people doing things better is a good thing. So thanks for being part of the Toolshed podcast.
Thank you, Mick. Yeah, I know you've helped Kyle out, and you've helped me out to improve my life since we've met. So you're doing great work as well.
Thank you very much. That is it, folks, for this episode of the Toolshed podcast. In the description, you'll see a link to go check out Future Builder, where I am labelled an expert. It's amazing. And you can go in there and have a conversation with Kyle, see if it's the right fit for you, to be able to tap into the library of resources, all of those things that can help make a better business faster. So it's all got to be a good thing. But that's it for this episode. I hope it inspired you. I hope it inspired you to take some action. We'll be back with another episode of the Toolshed podcast. Before you know it, I'm Mick Hawes from Builders Business Black Belt. That is all. I'm out. Bye for now.
You've been listening to the Toolshed. If this podcast struck a chord with you, make sure you spread the word by sharing it with your mates in the building industry. We love your help to make the building industry better for everyone involved.